Are you planning a trip to Kyoto? Here's the hard truth. Most travelers waste hundreds of dollars on tourist traps and overpriced experiences. After spending months researching and exploring this incredible city, I've crafted the perfect 5-day itinerary that hits all the must-see places while keeping your wallet happy. Plus, I'll show you exactly how to avoid the biggest money mistakes tourists make in Kyoto. Kyoto might look huge on the map, but we're going to break it down into 5 simple areas that you can easily explore without blowing your budget. Each area has its own personality, and we'll cover one per day to maximize your time and minimize transport costs. Your first money-saving move starts the moment you land. Get an IC card from any station. It's your key to stress-free travel. A 5-day bus pass runs about 3,000 yen. But here's a little secret. Sometimes walking these ancient streets saves you more money and gives you better experiences than hopping on buses. Now, let's break down your daily costs. According to my research, the average accommodation in Kyoto is around 10,000 yen per night. Local meals will cost you daily around 1,000 yen. Your temple entries cost around 500 yen, and you should budget 1,000 yen per day for transport. That's a budget of around 15,000 yen per day, equivalent to about $97 US and 93 euros. Much better than I'm sure you expected from Kyoto. Quick reminder, this is not going to be your typical tourist route. We're going to be focusing on the real Kyoto, seeing the best spots at the right times, eating where the locals eat, and experiencing everything this city has to offer without the premium price tag. Day 1 starts early, and for good reason. We're hitting Fushimi Inari at 6:30 a.m. Most tourists show up here at 9, turning this peaceful shrine into a crowded mess. By starting early, you're not just avoiding crowds, you're getting better photos and saving money on transport since off-peak trains cost less. From Fushimi Inari, take this hidden path that most tourists miss. It's a 25-minute walk that saves you 320 yen on bus fares and takes you past local coffee shops where you'll pay half what you'd spend in tourist areas. The Kiyomizu-dera temple opens at 9. Entry is 400 yen, and make sure to ignore anyone trying to sell you skip-the-line tickets. They're a scam. The lines move quick anyways. The afternoon on day 1 is all about exploring these winding streets of Higashiyama. Most people rush through, missing the free temples and local spots. Skip the overpriced restaurants with English menus. The small spots with ticket machines out front are your best bet. Look for places where workers eat. Any set meal under 1,000 yen is usually fantastic. As the sun sets, we're heading to Gion. End your night at Yasaka Shrine. It's free to enter and beautifully lit up at night. Day 2 will be spent in the Arashiyama area of the city. The key to this place is timing. Most tourists arrive around 10 a.m., exactly when you don't want to be. Catch the 6:45 a.m. train from Kyoto Station. Early trains are cheaper in Kyoto, and you'll save 1,500 yen by not needing to take a taxi later when buses get packed. This is the Bamboo Grove at 7:30 a.m. Peaceful, empty, and perfect for photos. By 10 a.m., it looks like this. Good luck getting any photos without 100 tourists in them. Here's a money-saving hack most guides miss. Don't buy individual temple tickets. Get the Arashiyama Temple Circuit ticket at Tenryu-ji. 1,200 yen gets you into 4 temples. That's half the regular price. Tenryu-ji opens at 8:30. Starting here means you'll see the garden while the morning mist still hangs over the pond, and before the tour groups arrive. When hunger hits, avoid the main tourist street. Walk 2 blocks north to this local market area. Look for the blue Norin curtains. That's where you'll find lunch that's for 800 yen instead of 2,000. The Monkey Park climb looks tough, but here's the secret. There's a rest stop halfway up with an amazing view. Most people miss it because they're rushing to the top. As the day winds down, head to the river. While tourists pay 3,000 yen for boat rides, locals know the best views are free from these spots along the riverbank. End your day at Togetsukyo Bridge for sunset, but don't view it from the obvious spot. Walk 5 minutes to this hidden viewpoint instead. You'll get better photos and avoid the evening crowds. Day 3 takes us to northern Kyoto, where some of the city's most expensive attractions live. But there's a way to do this without destroying your budget. The Golden Pavilion opens at 9, but the insider strategy is to arrive at 8:40. You'll be in the first wave of visitors, saving both time and money since you can hit 3 major temples before lunch. This is Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion. Most tourists waste time circling the whole pond, but the best photos come from these 3 specific spots. Get your shots and move on. You're paying 1,500 yen for entry, so you better make it count. Don't take a taxi to the next temple. A 15-minute walking route not only saves you 1,200 yen, but takes you past local shops. Ryoan-ji rock garden looks simple, but there's a secret to viewing it properly. Most tourists crowd the center, but sitting on either end gives you the perfect angle to see all 15 rocks at once. Plus, it's less crowded. Between the main temples, you'll find smaller, free temples that tourists rush past. These aren't just budget-friendly. They're often more peaceful than their famous neighbors. If you need souvenirs, skip the temple gift shops. This shopping street sells the exact same items for half the price. Look for the shops with the red banners. They're local approved. End your day at Nishiki Market. After 5 p.m., many vendors mark down their fresh food. You can sample Kyoto's famous foods for a fraction of the usual price. Here's a fun dinner strategy. Look for these 3 Japanese characters on the menu. They indicate the daily special, which is usually 30% cheaper than the regular menu items. Day 4 of our journey is dedicated to Central Kyoto. Central Kyoto is where most tourists overspend. But here's the secret. Some of the best experiences here are completely free. The Imperial Palace grounds open at 9, and you don't need a reservation anymore. That's just outdated information you'll find online. Just walk right in and save yourself 3,000 yen on guided tours. Follow a self-guided route through the palace grounds. It hits all the photo spots that paid tours use, but at your own pace, and for free. Downtown Kyoto is shopping heaven, but prices can vary widely. Skip the main shopping arcades and head 1 street back. Same products, local prices. Many traditional craft shops offer free demonstrations. Look for these signs. You'll learn about Kyoto crafts without paying for expensive workshops. Pontocho Alley transforms at night, but timing is everything here. Arrive between 5 and 6 p.m. Restaurants offer early bird specials with the same menu items for sometimes 40% less. Our final day takes us east, where we'll piece together a perfect ending that most tourists miss completely. Nanzenji main grounds are free. Most visitors don't realize this and pay for areas they don't need to see. Save your money for the hidden gems coming up. The Philosopher's Path looks simple on maps, but here's what the guidebooks don't tell you. There are 7 free temples just 1 street away from the main path. While tourists stick to the most expensive spots, you'll be discovering authentic Kyoto. This residential area is where you'll find the real deals. Look for houses with these symbols. They're actually casual restaurants where local workers eat. Set lunches here cost around 800 yen instead of 2,500 at tourist spots. For your final Kyoto sunset, skip the crowded paid observatories. This local hillside shrine offers the same view, absolutely free. Now that we've gone through our perfect 5-day itinerary together, I want to give you a quick transportation guide, practical tips for Kyoto, and seasonal considerations. Let's break down exactly how to get around Kyoto without wasting money. First up, forget buying individual tickets. Get an IC card immediately upon arriving in Kyoto, not just for the convenience, but because you'll save an average of 12 yen per trip. Small wins like this add up. The bus system looks complicated, but the truth is you only need to know 3 routes. Save this map right now because these routes cover 90% of Kyoto's major sites. Most experts, except me of course, won't tell you that walking between these specific spots is actually faster than waiting for buses. Learn these walking shortcuts and pocket the transit fare. Next, let's talk about cultural tips that'll help you blend in and avoid tourist prices. First, shoe etiquette. Always look for the raised floor when entering any building. If you see it, shoes come off before stepping up. This applies to temples, traditional restaurants, and some local shops. Getting this wrong is an instant tourist flag, and you might get directed to more expensive English menu options. For greetings, a simple nod works for casual situations like convenience stores. But in traditional spots, especially temples and local restaurants, a proper bow from the waist shows respect. This small gesture often leads to better service and local menu recommendations instead of overpriced tourist scents. When paying in a restaurant, always use the tray provided. Don't hand money directly. A money-saving tip most experts won't tell you about is that local spots often have an unmarked cup or box near the register for small change. Using exact change marks you as someone who knows local customs, and you're more likely to get treated to extra portions or local-only menu items. In restaurants, keep your chopsticks parallel when resting. Never stick them upright in your rice. This simple mistake often leads staff to assume you need the expensive English menu with tourist prices. Kyoto's prices swing wildly with the seasons. Here's exactly when to visit to maximize your budget. Everyone wants cherry blossoms and autumn leaves. But if you shift your visit by just 2 weeks, prices drop by 40%. Major festivals spike accommodation costs. Unless you're specifically coming for these events, Save big by avoiding these dates. The rainy season scares tourists away. Use this to your advantage. Hotels are cheaper, and these indoor spots offer free rain programs. Following this guide doesn't just save you money. It gives you a more authentic Kyoto experience. Remember, Kyoto's real magic isn't in its most expensive spots. It's in knowing where to find its hidden treasures and experiencing them in their most authentic form. Drop a comment below with your favorite budget travel tip from this video, and hit subscribe for more guides that'll help you travel smarter